well it's gonna come through because I got a lot of background noise in this car. I don't know why. I don't know why it's so loud in this car when I'm recording, but it's like it picks up every little sound from the road. It seems like it picks up the tires on the road or whatever. But I don't know who's gonna get in here before I shut it down. I just wanted to speak on something and figured it'd be best to just do it this way right quick. Deontay Wilder seems not to ever be able to do or say anything right when it comes to his fights, especially if he loses or has a draw. Shelly Finkel came out. I think it was yesterday. I saw it. I saw it this morning, where Shelly Finkel came out and stated that Deontay, of course, suffered a fractured hand, but also that his equilibrium and his balance was off from the third round on. And with that being said, I see people in the comment section of posts about that article, and even people restating it as him saying that Wilder had a concussion and such, which I didn't see the word concussion. And you can have issues with your equilibrium and not be concussed. That's a medical fact. I mean, that's known. I mean, that's not even anything in depth. That's common knowledge. But people took the word equilibrium and turned that into concussion. So then like I said, you got people taking that and then they're rewording it. But then also you got people being critical, saying things like, Deontay Wilder, this just makes him look worse. Shelly's not helping him. He's hurting him by making this statement. Well, the reality is that Shelly's stating what he knows to be fact. Or you know what I'm saying? He's telling you that, hey, the guy had a broken hand, which, he supposedly just had surgery days ago. So that can be confirmed. But then also the fact that he's speaking on the equilibrium, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to watch that fight and know that Wilder had problems with his balance and equilibrium from the early rounds of the fight on. I think it was the third or fourth round. Yeah, the third round. So it was from the time he got knocked down, when he got dropped in the third, on. So it's not like Shelly's making this stuff up, or Team Wilder's putting this stuff out somehow as an excuse to why they lost the fight. Aside from that, we've heard over the years and known over the years that Deontay Wilder has suffered all kind of injuries and things, even going into fights, but still went out and took the fight. Wilder's had these type injuries, such as broken hands, recovering from a broken arm, burns, all sort of stuff, all sort of injuries, but still went out there and fought. And 90+% of the time, he went out there and got the win. Even coming in underweight from being sick, things of that nature. And it's no one calls it an excuse unless you have a bad performance. If it's not in a bad performance, everybody commends you on it and say, what a great accomplishment, what a great feat for you to go into a fight or get through a fight with those type of injuries and still get the win. So even when you look at the Ortiz fight, he's supposedly was getting over being sick, came in underweight. The Areola fight, he was coming in. I think that was the fight he may have had the burns before the fight, and he broke his hand in the fight. And kept on fighting, got the win, got the stoppage. And there's others. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna rehash all of them, but there have been a lot of fights. Wilder is an oft injured fighter. You know what I'm saying? We know this going into his fights. It's like, hopefully Wilder doesn't get any kind of injury in camp. The guy punches so hard that he's susceptible to doing damage to himself because of how hard he punches. And you know what I'm saying? It's just those are the type of things that we already know. It's not that they're just dragging this stuff up after Wilder takes a loss or after Wilder has a draw. When they were winning, they were still putting this information out. When he was knocking guys out, they still was putting out the information that, yeah, this is what happened in camp. They just didn't put it out before the fight because, nobody put that type of stuff out for the fight, then your opponent knows, that he has a leg up, or he knows where you're gonna come up short. So, and then especially when you're talking about something that happened in the fight that people can see, you know what I'm saying? Even if I'm not mistaken, Fury's trainer made some statement, you know what I'm saying, the Fury in the corner about Wilder not able to, throw the right hand like he wants to, because he was injured or something like that. I've seen it stated, and then I heard pieces of that, you know what I'm saying, the clips of that clips of that in between rounds conversation between trainer and fighter. But I really didn't really go back and listen and dissect it and see exactly what he said, how he phrased it. But it seemed like he alluded to Wilder having some kind of issue with his right hand. But my point is, if the man comes out of the fight and has to have surgery on his hand, I think that kind of substantiates the injury to the hand claim. And then, like I said, anybody who watched that fight and didn't see that Wilder had some kind of issue with his balance and equilibrium, they don't want to see it. Because, you know what I'm saying, I've even been in conversations with folks about, you know what I'm saying, the issues he had with his balance in that fight. And, you know what I'm saying, I know some people feel like that's something that, he could train for. And, you know what I'm saying, but at the same time, sometimes you get hit with a certain shot and your balance goes haywire, you know what I'm saying, that's just what it is. You got to either get through it or go ahead and get out of that fight. You know what I'm saying? Some things you just, you know what I'm saying, aren't going to be prepared for happening. Or maybe you are prepared, but there's nothing you can do to correct that issue in that moment. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say Wilder wasn't prepared for that happening, because he made it rounds and rounds and rounds afterwards. But what he didn't do was do the things to negate getting hit with that shot that caused him to have the equilibrium issues. And that's what I want to see. I don't like seeing, I understand boxers are in a fight and you're going to take punches, but I always have to look at it a certain way when I see fighters get hit with the same shots. Whether it's the same shots over and over in the same fight, or whether it's the same big shot in 2 fights in a row. So those are the things that I want to see him work on to overcome it. I mean, there are things out there to help, retrain the system that controls your balance to compensate for, deficiencies. But I don't know how that translates into a fight. If you get hit with an equilibrium shot, that may not, all that could go 100% out the window once you sustain that shot. But there are treatments for that and therapy for that. But like I said, in boxing, it could be totally different, because once you get hit with that shot, all of that work you did in training and in therapy could go completely out the window, because that shot does enough damage to where it just offsets everything that's happened. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I just wanted to speak on that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it would be easier for me to do it this way than to try to upload and edit some video and all that. Hopefully the sound quality comes through decent. If not, I apologize. But I just was just reading on this right before I got in the car, so I really wanted to go ahead and speak on it while it was on my mind, because I definitely won't have time to do this, to drop a video for the next 10 hours or so. So I just wanted to speak on that. That's all I got on it. D-Lo 404 Boxing. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.